Testing 1, 2. Testing 1, 2. Testing 1, 2. All right, there we go. Welcome to day 492 of the journey begins. Okay. Welcome in, Leah. So again, this is day 492 of the journey begins. We're at Inkwood, working on the ravine. Top order, if the audio sounds muffled or any kind of noises in the background, please let me know. We have our AC unit going. Not really making cold air, but it's blowing some air around. So if that is audible, let me know. I think we have our mic settings adjusted to cut that out, but just in case. And what else do we have? I think we're ready to get started. I think we're on, yeah, we got the western side done yesterday, so we're on the eastern side today. Did we get that done? I don't know if we got this last quadrant done, so why don't we do that as well while we're working this way? I think maybe we'll try to keep the tree in as much as possible. Let's just cut all the way through. Because this is something that needs to be done, so we'll get this going while we're on our way to getting what will be the ravine drained. So calling it the ravine. Right now it's just a stream on the side, but it still needs to be drained. Alright, so then this comes through here. Okay. We do. We can just cut through this pretty quickly. Welcome in, Sam. How's it going? So the stone can come through here. And then we're going to have to cut down this. Welcome in, user. How's it going? Okay. And then where does our other stone come through? It comes through here, right? So we'll clear out this bit. And we'll collect some of these leaves anyway, because we can use these for things like the Enderman farm or just maybe decoration in other spots. Okay, so where is our... Okay. We'll figure out the height later, which is why we're not taking it down to any certain height as we build it. We're just laying it on whatever top is here. Shovel. There we go. Yeah, see, so this is our spot. One here. Wait, what happened here? Can we get rid of this so we don't have a floating tree anymore? Nope. We can get rid of some of it, I guess, maybe. Yeah, we can get rid of some of it, but that's it. Okay. Oh. That's just gonna have to float till we get enough. Well, let's just do this thing. just step up and just take this down because I don't want it to come down on its own. So that we can see what we're working with when we get to the clock tower. Okay. We can drop off this stuff in one of the chests over by the ravine as we're heading over that way. Do we need a torch? Yeah, we're going to replace. We're good on this side now. Okay. Rather drop off some stuff here. Flesh, tree saps, stone. Yeah, that'd work. That gets us back to a good spot. And now we can come down here and work on this. Welcome in, Lynn. How's it going? Oh, and we are live on Twitch, TikTok, and YouTube. So if you want to help us get to 300 followers on TikTok or make affiliate on Twitch, feel free to share the channel, at least if you're enjoying it. Welcome in, I am the real. Welcome in, Tua. And our auditorium that we're trying to create is low-key building with a story purpose. Low-key building that is story driven. That's a good way of putting it. So we don't have any major battles ourselves, but the world is available for download every 6 months, or we make an update every 6 months, so you could choose older downloads if you want. And you could make it into welcome in forever. You could continue building, you could make it into battle arenas, whatever you want. Alright, so that's going to take there. But here, did that go? Okay, good. It's leaking there. Welcome in, Stevie. How's it going? Welcome in, Mark. Alright, so that's another light down. Did I see some water? We did. So let's fill that in. Let's grab our... We're gonna have to mend our tool tonight if we get through all of this, which is our goal is to get all of this side done now as well. We need some torches in here, don't we? So we can keep this as mob free as possible while working. Welcome in, Alyssa. We want to avoid another zombie's revenge. We have all of our gear back now. I think we just have one. I think we dropped it off somewhere. All of our stuff has mending on it. There we go. Mending. So yeah. I think we have like a sharpness or something that could be added to the axe, but other than that, I think we're good. Welcome in, Bentley. but we can only do this one night because we don't want phantoms either, because they're just annoying. We don't want to deal with the trident wielders because they hurt. Alright, I'll just use another rocket. Because isn't bad, it gives a little show of what Inkwood looks like, or at least the framing of Inkwood. There is some more wood in that tree that we missed. Let's get that out, and that should help there. Okay, good. So we can see that's already kind of falling away. So this is going to look better, and we'll get a good view of what's inside here. Actually, since this is on the inside, this is all going to have to come down anyway. So why don't we just take down at least the leaves for now? This will give us a little more building material for later and keep the inside cleaner. So I think, well, Minecraft encourages it, at least Mojang encourages it, at least for now, of putting in items and then seeing creative ways they can be used. Not a fan of all of their decisions, but I'm okay with, well, I don't think there's anything wrong with encouraging items to be used as other things and also including those other items. But point being, we want to welcome in our long guy. We want to find uses for the leaves that aren't leaves. So like this. So we want to find uses for the leaves. For example, some kind of window bars or something like that. So instead of glass, putting in leaves that we can look out and representing dirty windows or designs in the windows, something like that. Welcome in Odette. Okay. How's everybody's Wednesday going? Anybody working on their own Minecraft projects that they want to share? Let's take this line down. It's going to take care of that. Okay, welcome in. Ashka Babwa. Hopefully not too far off on that. Welcome in Cat something and Isabel. BB and Iran. So, cobblestone here. So we'll take down, I think this is probably last level. Let's check. Yeah. Welcome in, sure what that is. Something. Welcome in Tekwa. welcome in you. And name. Stefania, welcome in. At some point, we'll probably reduce all the acknowledgements to maybe chat acknowledgements. Or acknowledge in chat. Got it here. Alright, so go this way. Okay, managed to get out that way. Alright, so we need to section off a few more of these. So come on. Let's do maybe here. Is it? Okay. And then maybe here. Oh. Okay, that works. Okay, so fill that in. Where are you at? Let's take care of this. Welcome in. Is that money? That works. Alright, so cordon this off. Yeah, I think that'll work. We'll get all these sections set up and then we'll start draining them. Come in, Jason. Let's go out. I think we have enough that we can probably that will free up a lot here, and then what we're trying to go to is probably where some of this water is. So this all looks like it's flowing from there, so maybe we can do some kind of like bridge feature over the lake on the backside. Welcome in, Haley Joe. How's it going? In the blood, 70,000. We have Joel Duggan in our other ear. For today. They are working on over on Twitch on the Citadel. They also do the Citadel Cafe podcast, and they're half of the Spawn Chunks podcast about Minecraft. All of which I recommend checking out. Okay, so let's see. Welcome in, Sammy. I think the issue here is we kind of only want one way in or out. So if we do something here, it could be a bridge, and we don't want that. Although this is like heavily forested, so maybe it could be a walkway bridge or something. Or we might just have to leave it open. I liked the idea of having the lake and waterfall entrance be kind of decorative, but we might have to do that somewhere else. Because if we have anything decorative that comes out, it kind of defeats the bridge in on the north side, and then also on the south side. Yeah, on the south side, we're gonna have we are going to have a rope bridge kind of looking thing as a single path. So something that looks like a hiking trail that the locals might take into the backwoods. So I guess it wouldn't be out of question to have something like that over here. Something small. But if you're in a decorative entranceway or something for the waterfall going through, it probably would be wide enough for the caravan. You couldn't do just a 1 or 2 wide thing, so probably have to forgo that. Welcome in, name. How's it going? And I am debating on going to get sponges from the garden temple since we aren't that far away. Whether the time for this last little bit would be better going over there to get a handful of sponges, or just to probably would be a touch faster. Well, this one has a fair amount, so maybe it would. If we had gravel, that would probably be a little faster. Have a lot of gravel though. Because then you could use candle torches to get it out. Well, I guess we'll continue doing the path running. Get some air and go back down. Okay, didn't go as smooth as I wanted that time. We didn't fill up all the way last time, okay. Welcome in, Shadow, and thank you for the like, appreciate it. How's the Wednesday going? Stone. Welcome in, audio. Art really. How's it going? Let's do. Does this can reach this from the top and then speed things up? Yes. Okay. So it's a fair amount. We're just gonna work until we get done, and part of this is we want to get to other projects and get things done, but we also want to slow things down too. Like Matica helps, if you're on Java, like Matica helps you do things. And I think there's blueprints on Bedrock now, so but, you need to be creative, and those are good for the more quick stories. The narrative that has seasons, or the stories that unfold as they go, have a seed, and then that kind of seed of an idea, and then that kind of lets the story unfold. And so ours is more, you can do that on your own, but we have a story in mind that we're developing, so we're going to slow down to make sure that we're telling that story. Something for our journal writing story, the journal writing project, and then the actual novel project. Welcome. Iris. And not jumping in and out of the water all the time. This in. It's not instant refill. Go on the sides here, just make this a smaller worry about. Why not? Oh, we ran out of cobblestone probably, right? Yeah. Let's go get some welcoming Marco. And then I love toast. I have to agree, toast is pretty good. Okay, yeah, we can do this. We can come all the way over. We'll leave our wall intact and then go collect all the cobblestone here and finish off what we started there. This is... Where's the wall? Here's the wall, is this part. Welcome, Alexander. Hi banana. Interesting name. So let's take down some of this now. And be systematic about it. So square it off. And do it again. Get all of that. Right on top of a welcoming heart. If it's going well. All that. There we go. And we can just work our way back through. Stand here, working in RE keyboard. Some of this will be because we don't know where the wall is going to actually come out. Cut it maybe here. Yeah, that works. Where this comes out, and that'll give us a pretty good amount of cobblestone to work with for the other pieces. Yeah. We should be able to fit it all in. In. Can you hit down there? Can't hit down there yet, but we can hit there. So we need one more layer right there. And then Adja. How's it going? And then Thiago. So this is almost there we go. So this block is done. Which we have left. So let's extend this as much as we can. Okay. So that works, okay. Let's go down. I think we need to put some more. I'm gonna put down as much of the cobblestone as we have on us. That way when we collect more, we'll already have a base done. Right here. And fish. We'll come in. What was that? So let's fill this in. Welcome in. Welcome in flower or something? Upgrade? So go out probably. Yes. Alright, so let's go start collecting and then replacing, and we're really close. I think, yeah, I think as far as the water bits, we have that little pool and this pool, and that's it. Because this is a lake that's flowing in, so we're not going to worry about that. But that's our goal for today, was to get that done. So probably be a little bit over an hour, but that's fine. We do want to get back to the 2-hour streams, and that supposedly helps grow channels more. And I would like to be able to do it as well, just in general. Because we used to do 2-hour streams, but had to cut it back for other obligations. Welcome in. Do we just do front and back, or do we use square and shrink it? There probably is some kind of equation for which way is faster, but I'm not going to bother looking it up right now. So we can just do forward and back this way versus having to like turn the corners. I'm guessing this way is faster. It's down to the dirt level and do it all again. We need to light up inside here for now. This stuff. Some more torches down here. Yeah, we can't be full. It's just that pickup radius is low. Okay. Something hit me. Or was it just the opening in the morning? Back here. Some of that we can do from surface. So we want to get things to the point that we can lay down the stone from the surface. Since we won't have to swim, so it will be faster. Let's go here. Take this guy out because I don't want tridents. Okay. We're gonna have to go grab some carrots soon. Let's get that in here. That squid is going to need to get moved. Jenny. Source. So we are working on draining some rivers around a village we're calling Inkwood. We're going to take that down to bedrock and then fill it with just a little bit of water and put some smokestacks, cobwebs, and stuff to make it look like the mist below, so we can make it more obvious that the only way into the city is a bridge on the front for our kind of caravan travel, and a rickety rope bridge on the back for foot traffic. We'll take a look at here in a second. As soon as I get some of this stone down, we'll take a fly over the bridge and see what it looks like. So yeah, we can do that now because we need to sleep anyway. Can't pronounce the name, but do I believe in the pasta monster? I don't know what the pasta monster is, but I do like pasta. Actually, let's sleep and then we'll go up to the observation tower and that'll give us a better view. Well, I will have to look up what that is. So this is, well, go back and forth calling this our observation tower and clock tower. It eventually will be our clock tower. But we're going to focus it on aligning with, where's the sun at? Yeah, we're going to have the openings on the east-west side, and then have different colored glass on the inside, and then we'll have emeralds, diamonds, whatever, kind of embedded in the floor to kind of represent where that sun might shine through at different times. So kind of a cross between like a sundial and something else. But yeah, this is Inkwood. So the cobblestone on the inside is the wall. Make you feel like Jenny. Kind of the border of the island. The outside cobblestone is going to be the outside of the ravine, and we'll rough it up a little bit so it's not so straight in the back here. But this is how wide the ravine will be. So we're going to take it from a cobblestone wall to cobblestone wall, and we're going to take that down to bedrock. So we want it to be wide enough that it's not something you could just pretend you could jump across. It's a little narrow in some spots, but I think it'll be okay since other spots are thicker. So yeah, all this over here, so cobblestone wall here to the hill, all of that goes down to bedrock. In the back, this is going to stay. We'll get rid of some of the islands and make it just a block or two deeper probably. So this would be kind of a lake that would then feed the waterfalls on either side. It will go down into that ravine. So that's how it isolates the city for the story that we want to tell. We have our little village that we're making starting in the back. And trying to make it a little bit more colorful and different than the standard villager villages. This building up here is going to be kind of a trade depot, so we'll probably have it follow along the back block here, and maybe have like a little place to park horses or whatnot, so we can unload the goods, and this will be stored in here. It's big enough for Inkwood, but much smaller than Overmorrow, our other city at spawn, which we haven't seen today. But if you follow the stream, eventually we go back there periodically, so you can see that at some point. The other main feature here is under this hill, we're going to make a decorative well. Falling through the well will take us into another portal. And then we'll have a controlled another portal. So just like a white tunnel and maybe like spiral colors or something in it. So you won't be able to tell that you're in another, but you follow the path and then you come out into the Inkwood library. So it'd be area as big as Overmorrow or something like that. So probably between 500 and 700 square, something like that. We'll build a complex there, but it'll be all library focused. And we go through the nether because we couldn't find a spot close by that we wanted to make it. So it's somewhere around like negative 17,000, 20,000. So it's pretty far away. And it's in the middle of an ocean, which was one of the things we wanted, so that it's not something you would easily see if you kind of walked around the ocean. So we want it to be something that's kind of tucked away in like space-time, for lack of a better term. Tucked away in its own little pocket dimension, maybe is a better way to put it. So yeah, that's what we're working on. That's what we have framed out of Inkwood so far, and the little bit of construction we have on some of the houses. Each one has a villager, so we have, I think, 3, maybe 4 villagers now. There's 2 other villages nearby, so we just invited some of those villagers to come over. They're already picking up farmer professions and fishermen and stuff like that, so and they'll be free range. We won't really have a trader hall per se. I mean, we might have 1 or 2. Well, this is actually one of our smaller builds. So in the left-hand bar of our stream, the nether project there, Haven's End, is 1,000 by 1,000, and those are slabs that we're putting down. We probably have about 800,000 slabs down on the foundation at Y67. And then we're going to clear out all the netherrack above that to bedrock roof. And yeah, just got a little time. Where is our back door, or back path? Okay, so we're going to go over to our other big project. Yeah, and so that will be a city in the nether, and the goal is to make it not look like the nether at all. And we'll have something similar to that, so we're calling it a Dyson ring right now, but in the end we'll have something, a donut that's probably about 1,000 by 1,000, and on the inner diameter, and then maybe 100, 200 for the actual circle of the donut. Maybe we can come over here and see some of this. See if we can land on the wall here. So each dimension will have a lower level project, which is something like this. But this initial pyramid in here was when we started playing Minecraft. So that's to the original build height, 256. What we're standing on now is going to be a step pyramid, so it can do more of like gardening and more texture and put a little more lived in feel on it. I think the step pyramid is something like 10 high and 14 deep for each step, and it goes up to build heights, so you can kind of see it there, the scissoring up of our skeleton for this building is going up to build height, and the steps go down, or will go down to bedrock as well. So this will be a bedrock to build height build, going out 14, up 10 or so every level to the build height. And so we're kind of trying to limit it to one, at least for the purposes of our story, one lower level project per dimension, and then we have like epics, story, book, chapter, page, paragraph, sentence, so on and so forth to word. Where's our path at? We lost our path. Oh, there it is. So, yeah, it's a lot of work. We've been playing kind of casually and not really doing much serious for probably, well, we've been playing for about 5 years. The first 2-3 years we were just not doing it serious. The first year probably just here and there, like not playing every day. The last 4 years, I guess we started doing it a little bit more, and we've been getting a little more serious about the story and whatnot each day, I guess, until now. Because the reason we're doing it more serious is we have 2 more creative writing projects that we want to do, which is outside of my wheelhouse, but one will be what we call the journal, so it'll be kind of the perspective of this character of how the world kind of came to be, and then that'll be over on GitLab whenever we get it a little farther along, because it'll be something that we do like weekly or monthly updates on, and that will focus on Minecraft assets as well. That's why it will be on GitLab and free. The other project will be a more traditional. We're trying to write an actual book, and that is just a story that we're making up and building the story in Minecraft, so it won't actually have things like Enderman or anything like that in there. That's where Inkwood and Overmorrow, places like that come from, is from the story, from that story. Okay. We actually, oh, we took, we forgot to keep stone to fill in the path behind us. So let's get some of this, and let's grab a carrot. And I think it's a night that a phantom will come out, so first phantom we see, we're gonna go to bed. Alright, so let's, there we go, okay. So hopefully that was a good a mini tour. And we're defining our years in the world as 500 days. So the days that you see in the stream titles, which are basically, it used to be weekends, just so you could divide it by 2 and see how many weekends were played. We've been playing every day for about a month now, while we have a little extra time. But anyway, the 500 days for a year in the world is based on the stream days. And at 500, I'm thinking of doing a more comprehensive, a more full Pokemon Smile. More full world tour. Yeah, we wanted to have some kind of purpose to the build, because there's plenty of other much better builders out there that are good at the houses and redstone stuff, which we can do some redstone stuff. We don't focus on that as much, and we don't do anything like moving houses or whatnot. But we can do flying machines and some basic stuff, and like get more advanced at some point. Because that is a little more in a wheelhouse, more along the kind of electrical engineering analog. But the lore gives us time to kind of go slow and build a story and have purpose to the builds, which I think helps guide what to build and what it should look like. And part of our goal is to slow things down. Like technology, or yeah, technology in general, like make the time that we have like more quality, not just rush everything as fast as we can. Which is one of the reasons why we're just filling this in with stone and taking it down instead of using some sponges. But this is small enough that we can do that and still get it done. Saw at the pyramid there, which we call the garden temple. We have, I don't know, 20, 30 sponges over there because we're going to drain the ocean under it in order to go down to bedrock. But that's not something that we could really do with stone or stand alone. So we're using sand just to kind of cordon off lanes, and then we'll have a combination of sponges and like squeegee flying machines to create. And we'll come in VI or 6-6. And we also just wanted to try and do something. Yeah, so we post on Pinterest, Blue Sky, and Instagram. So if you go to linktr.ee/mytripmedia, you'll find all of our social media there. And you can look us up on those platforms as MindTrip Media as well. And we post on YouTube as well. On YouTube, it's either with spaces or without. But we have a couple channels on YouTube. One is the VODs for this, so you could do like MindTrip Media VOD and find that. We also have a mostly Lego YouTube channel as well. So it's mostly Lego U2s. We have some like wooden puzzles, and I think there's a card tower on there and some little other things that are in kind of the builder space. Which I think that link is actually on our TikTok profile too, if you need it. And the link tree is where we put all of the links to all the other social media so that we have one place where we can kind of catch everything. In case we forget one of our platforms that we're on. And we try to be fairly consistent on what we post on each. So Blue Sky is mostly like stream announcements, or occasionally we put food pictures there, or other things we're working on. And then Pinterest is a lot of food and Minecraft. Similar to what we post on TikTok. But yeah, it's all there. Yeah. Yeah, feel free to check it out, and hope you like it. We don't post a lot of updates on, well, we will be posting more updates on the journal project once we get a couple entries in. We just only have one now, and we want to have like a week or so's worth of entries before we start doing regular post on it. Book updates we kind of mention on stream periodically. Like right now we're working on getting chapter 14 outline done, so not the actual prose writing, but just the outline. But we don't post updates on that yet. Once we get it edited and ready to go out, we'll probably post something. And our goal then is, if we can do that more regularly, have a large enough community to support that kind of work, we will do it more often. I would like to do kind of a mixture of the creative projects and then also some of the maybe more technical, like coding projects as well, either around storytelling or Minecraft or something. For example, like the hand cam that we have, we're using Cyborg 2, which already has good software to map the buttons on it to functions for Minecraft. But we've been experimenting with multiple input types, so we haven't used a keyboard in 2 or 3 years now to play Minecraft, other than to type in like a chat box or search for items, but nothing, not to actually move around in. And one of the devices we tried was the Logitech 360 joystick, which is a great joystick, but the buttons don't map to keys, and Minecraft doesn't have a good joystick mapping ability. So we started playing around with it, but kind of ran out of time, and then started this project of being able to hijack the inputs on the joystick and map them to keyboard functions. So I would like to do some things like that as well. But all of that depends on how much time I have to devote to things like this. So right now I have a little bit more, so we're focusing on the story aspect, hoping that gets us the ability to do this more. Welcome, Gayu. Thank you for the like. And also just trying to get better at public speaking, I guess you'd call it. And kind of being being able to share my experience on streaming eventually and things that worked, don't work, and kind of if people watch enough, seeing the things that could work better, or maybe things they could use in their own streams, and being able to help that way too. So not being afraid to start. And maybe trying tools or something that someone might be interested in but not have the ability to do, or afraid to start streaming for whatever reason, being able to help with that. Do we have any? There we go. Let's see. Almost there. Pass? Yeah. Yeah, and if there's any questions about the story or stream setup or anything like that, feel free to put those in the chat. Yeah, trying to be a pretty open community auditorium. Kind of leaning to the idea of, an auditorium to be different, and also, different things will come up. So, different games, different projects, and I don't expect all of them to be something that everybody likes. You can kind of join in what you like and not for things that you don't. Alright, so we're a little over an hour, and we got this little bit here, and then we'll be done with that. What else do we have? The library is on its own little track in the background. Once we have like the foundation for that, we'll show the library on stream. Our other thing that we need to do, we need to add a little bit of framing to our gold farm. And we need to build out Oasis City. So we need to find a good desert for that. And then we need to write down somewhere so we remember that on the way to the garden temple, since that's kind of a desert, I want to build a little sandstorm thing there. Preferably enough out of render distance that you can't see the temple, because we want it to be kind of unrelated for the purposes of the story. And then the sandstorm will have a portal in it that will use a controlled nether tunnel to take us to the gold temple, which we already have a portal in the nether that goes there. We just have to connect up to it. And there'll be a little suspension there because I think that tunnel is actually accessible from Haven's End's ground floor. Which I guess could work, because then Haven's End is kind of this place in between time. Its own little pocket as well. And they're much older, so it would fit in that they can kind of just jump into this controlled tunnel and go to these places. But anyway, there'll be a controlled tunnel that goes to the gold tunnel, or the gold farm, and then from the gold farm, maybe have a tunnel that's far enough away that it doesn't connect to that same tunnel. And then have that take us to Oasis City. And then Oasis City will have a separate tunnel far enough away to have its own tunnel. So it's kind of, the storyline is isolated a little bit that way. I mean, if you find these things and choose to follow the story and world. And that would take us back to closer to the Garden Temple. And then we would continue the story from there, and we can do that more or less from the surface. I think that's how we're going to get around some of the close proximity of some of the larger builds that we weren't taking into account when we decided to go from kind of random build to more of a story-driven approach. I mean, we might end up going back to Overmorrow today. I don't like to get the tools too far down in durability. Oh, hello over on Twitch. There. Alright, so let's go. Oh yeah, here's a nice stair step. Our last little puddle to fill in. We're already over an hour, so that'll work out. So we didn't want to cut it short today. We didn't have any pressing thing. That. It should actually be pretty quick. Because then here we can do. Okay. Keep those fish out of here so that they don't run away. Welcome in, Injury. So, do you have any Minecraft projects that you work on? Sounds like you might work on some smaller ones. Alright, we'll just lock him in. Come back and do it later. Put him in Hooply. Does this work? Yeah, that works. Okay. Use our okay. Oh, nice. 5 or so years is a good amount of time. Probably a lot of projects. I think I probably have a lot of little tiny shacks in the north side of like looking for lush caves and whatnot. But here in I don't know, 2 or 3 minutes, whenever we get this stone mined out, we'll head to Overmorrow, and there you'll see the wall project, which is the one evergreen project that we have right now. So it would be a wall that stretches from horizon to horizon. So something that would take many, many years to probably finish. But not something that we're going to work on in one go, just contribute to it here and there. But the horizon wall divides the north and the south. And we're not building anything new north of the wall other than a little bridge that goes out from Overmorrow. That's it. I think that's good enough, because then we can go show that now. Yep. So let's sleep. Do a little view from observation tower so we can clip that out. Oh, there it is. And then we'll head over to Overmorrow. Do you stream any of your builds at all, Jen? Or just kind of playing with friends on like a realm or something? Or your own server, I guess. Depending on what version you're playing. Open in Monica. So we'll start. Where's our bridge? Okay, we'll start over here. Okay. This is a little look. Remember, this is right around 118. We're doing this because we're gonna clip this once we're done streaming and add this to our list of clips. And then we'll download it and put it together with our other ones, and eventually we'll turn this into kind of a proximity of a time lapse. Okay. Let's follow. Okay, so this dirt path here, and the dirt path here is also just framing, so it's not going to look so simple. We'll give it a more lived in feel. And same thing with the dirt and stone here. This is just to kind of get the feel for the path. So the stone here, we're actually going to connect here and remove that little bit of curve. We just wanted to get a feel for the path that we want to take. So no, have fun. Have a good dinner. Thank you for joining. We're gonna make our way over to Overmorrow now. At spawn, so that'll be at 0, 0. That's one thing that I wish I could hide a little bit. Maybe I could have something in the left-hand bar that just protrudes out over the number. Not that we particularly want to hide the coordinates, so maybe we could have something there that shows the coordinates, but in a more stylish way. Welcome in. 5 rockets. How close will that get us? Welcome in Neverweek. And here is Overmorrow. So we're going to have 2 towers they're about 90 blocks on either side of the gate. This one that we're looking at is to the current build height, 320. This other one that's going to come up is 256, so the other build height. So part of that story is just one started like crumbling, so we'll probably make that look a little derelict at the top. Welcome in Casual Citizen. We probably need some carrots, so thinking about carrot farm over here. And we'll go to our experience farm, but we won't actually mend anything on stream today since we're over time. But yeah, that was all of that. The diorite thing here, we're filling it in as we get a little extra diorite and other kind of white blocks, and that's going to be our horizon wall. Maybe 6, that's pretty good. And one more. I don't think that'd fill us up, but it'd be pretty close. Welcome in Finn GD. Yeah, so we need to mend our tool. Since the ravine around Inkwood is drained and we can start taking it down. I think our next endeavor will be going over to the gold temple and framing that out a little bit. And then finding a good location for Oasis City. So we'll probably scout that off stream, and then once we get a little base set up, bed, food supply, whatnot, that we can spend some time there framing things out, then we'll probably just start doing that on stream as well. Do we have anything that we don't need? Oh, yeah, we do. So let's put some of that in here. Dirt is kind of something we want. And we can send the cobblestone to Haven's End. I think we're actually okay there. Alright, so with that, oh, do this. That work? Okay. Not what we wanted. Alright, so we need to get our bow back. Okay. Oh, pretty good there. Okay. Oh, we needed a do we have enough? No, we don't, because we need one more block of iron at least, and then some. Yeah, one block of iron and 4 ingots. So that's what we had in this hole here, so that we could upgrade some of the leather armor while we were just waiting to have some material for our leather shop. So, well, I'm going to do ending on stream. So with that, let's actually welcome the Untouchable. Thank you for the like. Let's take our tunnel, not crash into anything. Maybe the floor. Probably should have taken our a little farther. Welcome in, Magnum. We're gonna head out to. Yeah, we don't have a lot, but we're gonna head out to the cleric hall. And then it's not dinner time, but it is lunchtime, so we will do some lunch and then work on our other projects. So this is our little. Inside the blue area is going to be our cleric hall. These aren't the heights of the levels, but more how the tiers, the shape of the tiers. So the first tier might go higher. Things probably cap it around there. The second tier will start wherever the first ends, and it will be this size, but it will continue up however high. And the same thing for the third tier here. So it will start wherever the second ends and go up 5, 7, 9 blocks, whatever our height is. But that will be the shape that it is. So those aren't height markers, but they're shape markers. Oh, but we do have. I wonder if they will be reasonable on their prices. Nope. He is not reset, so we're not going to with them. Although it is good to know that in the bank that we have in Haven's End, we could add another level to it, or maybe another bank somewhere else, because it's really big enough to have a second bank if we wanted. And we could do clerics that will trade for another ward. That could be another way to get emeralds and kind of introduce a more reasonable economy. So we've only got 2 rockets left. 2 and 6. So let's see how high up can we go. And okay. I find a good spot that we can. Sit and look out while we do our outro. So I like this view here, so we'll do it here. Thank you everyone, me and everyone on Twitch. Give a like or follow on TikTok. Happened earlier, and I should probably write those down as they go. But anyways, thank you for all of that and joining the 490 where the journey begins. If you want to see more of what we're doing, you can find us on Linktree, so linktr.ee/mindtripmedia. That will have links to the VODs for this on YouTube, along with our mostly Lego Build YouTube channel and other projects there. It will have links to our TikTok and Twitch for streaming, our Blue Sky and Pinterest for other kind of announcements and inspiration and stuff that we post. If you want to check out any of our projects there, and any other projects will be on Linktree as well. Links to those projects. We got our ravine, will be our ravine drain today, so we can start digging that down, throwing that into the mix of the builds that we rotate between. Tomorrow we'll likely either start doing the ravine digging or head to the gold temple and start framing out something there. And in the next 2 to 3 weeks, we'll probably spend some time at what will be Oasis City at some point. So with that, we will see you tomorrow when the journey continues. And the link to the Linktree will also be on our outro screen as well if you want to grab it from there.